Kerry, quite a tumultuous last couple of months. Take us now. You're an independent. How have things changed for you?
It's absolutely liberating. I haven't got to keep looking over there. So being independent, I haven't got to worry about the backstabbers who've been plotting, conniving, stabbing away and plotting for the South Wales and East Farage seat under the Ukip banner. I think it's really petty, I think it's very unpleasant. And by standing as an independent, I'm giving people that option. If they want a genuine anti-EU and somebody wants to withdraw from the European Union, they can support myself or they can support whoever's been carpetbagged in.
Do you not feel you should have stood firm and with the I don't know if you had support from your local members here and stood firm and stayed here?
Well, the problem is UKIP's gone a bit sour the last couple of years. We've had a lot of, not ex-Tories like myself, Tory rejects, people who could never progress any further in the Conservative Party. So they've come to UKIP and have become an expert overnight and opening a paper bag, for argument's sake. They know nothing and they're very dictatorial and they've been making some fundamental changes to the party. UKIP was formed to take Britain out of the European Union. It has been now changed very recently in the UKIP policy to state that there'll be a referendum on leaving the EU. We've never been asked to join the EU. This is, as far as I'm concerned, the European Union is an enemy institution that is absorbing our sovereignty and freedoms. Why do we want to have a referendum with them? If a government's been elected to take Britain out of the EU, why do you need a referendum? So that's one of the key points as far as that's been going on in the back of my head, is that UKIP's been losing its UKIPness. And this sort of guise to appeal to people who've never had any interest in sort of supporting a party that wants to get us out of the European Union. No, I don't know why that is, but that's betraying the fundamental cause of UKIP and why it was set up.
Do you not feel all your hard work, I mean, you know, all that background work you did, all those hard yards, do you not feel that's all gone to waste?
Oh, don't say that, please. I mean, the thing is, it got me out, met people, so it's never a waste. And as you get older, you get a bit wiser, so I wouldn't say it was a waste, no.
But you can't win. You can't win this seat now, can you? Never
say never. I've not put up to win. I've not put up to go and see big donors and say, oh, let's have lunch and give you some money. I'm funding this at my own back pocket. It's going to cost me about £2,500 this campaign. But I'm doing this to give people that option. With respect, Mr Metcalfe's a perfectly nice man, but he doesn't want Britain out of the EU. If you look at his voting record, I'm sure the Labour candidate will toe the Labour Party line, whatever that is on Europe. The Lib Dems, well, they're passionately pro-European. The UKIP candidate now only wants to give you a referendum. I want out. So I will be giving people a genuine option. If you want out of the European Union, vote for me. Now, there's consequences locally which people don't always see. Why are we having to build on the green belt? Because we don't control our borders. Why are we seeing cuts to services? Because we're giving our money to Europe. Why are businesses struggling in this country to set up and thrive? Because we're in Europe and the regulations and rules. And as Margaret Thatcher said, all our problems come from mainland Europe and they are resolved by English speaking countries. So I'm not doing this for Kerry Smith, I'm doing this to give people an option. And it's costing me my time, my money, but I put my money where my mouth is and I give the people the option.
Going back to the whole business though, any regrets about the language that you used in those interviews, in those conversations, shall I say?
Well, there was a private conversation with an employee of Tim Acker MEP nearly 3 years ago. We were all entitled to private phone calls. My language wasn't politically correct, I grant you that. But if you are having a private telephone conversation, isn't it meant to be that? Isn't it shocking that somebody can tape it? Isn't it shocking the press can use it? Because basically we have laws that mean nothing. And I think everybody's entitled to a bit of privacy. I've been on the record and apologised to particular groups I may or may not have offended. And I'll not keep apologising. You either say sorry once and mean it, or you be totally insincere and keep apologising, hoping everybody else will buy it.
You know, you spoke to me on the phone a couple of times to arrange this interview, but I spoke to you, put the phone down, I didn't record your interview because, you know, I'm not, you know, I'm not working on the wire, you know. So have you ever asked yourself why on earth, or maybe I'm asking the wrong person, why on earth was somebody taping your conversations?
Well, that's a very good question, but put it this way, South Baz and East Farage is on paper a winner, a fair bet for UKIP, Labour and the Conservatives. So the person taping it might have felt it was insurance. Who else have they taped in the party? Is this why this person's got a job with Tim Aker MEP? Did he accidentally say something on the telephone to her? I really don't know. Did a friend of his say something accidental? I've raised this before I left UKIP with the party, made it crystal clear who I spoke to. This person's not been ejected, been removed. So I think there's more than other hands involved. I think it goes right up to the top of the party, because it was suggested to myself that I was only put back on the list to stop Neil Hamilton, and then a few hours later this tape was winged to all the national press, and I gather it near enough the top of the party.
How have you? Cause you've been such a in the public eye nationally. You know, you've had a very strong profile locally, etc. But has it been stressful at all?
I mean, the first 48 hours, when you've got the hounds up, press hounds after, if you don't mind me saying, you get this bunker mentality, keep the curtains closed, you know, is there people outside? And there comes a point you have to buy milk, bread, so you go out late, and someone sees you in a supermarket, because I went to one of these 24-hour ones near where I live in Basildon, and someone went, oh, you're that Kerry Smith. I'm like, what are they having a go at you for? I use the Chinese word all the time. Say to all my mates, what's offensive about that? And it was quite shocking. So the media, I think they've got this part of the world wrong, or the world, you know, this part of the world's got the politically correct age wrong. It's one of the two. Because I thought, ooh. So I went out and about Thursday to do bits and pieces during the day, and I had people stopping me when I was walking around Basildon town. Oh, you're Kerry Smith. Oh, lovely to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And I think the media's completely miscalled it, because this part of Essex doesn't speak politically correct. And as Mr McKinley, the former MP for Farage, used to say, he speaks estuary English. There is a notable change in language, but it's not the word, it's how it's used.
Could you, moving on, could you ever see a time when you come back into the fold of UKIP?
To be honest with you, I don't see the problem with Nigel Farage. Right? The problem is, it's the people beneath him. They have to be culled. They've been there the last few years, and they've been successful in turning UKIP into another guise of the Lib Lab Con, where we've put in so-called political targets as elections before ideology. Now the people in this part of the world want to get out of the EU. They want a party that's stuff in immigration, and a party that's going to look after their purse strings. But when they've brought in newer lines such as UKIP supports the axing of the bedroom tax, well, in another part of this constituency there was a candidate on the Basildon side who stood in a very Labour ward last May on that issue of the bedroom tax. He campaigned really hard, and he only got 36 votes. And that just tells you what the people's real priority are. So if UKIP Towers thinks it's a good idea to talk about the bedroom tax as an issue, you vote UKIP and repeal it. I don't get that myself, because I take a different view. I grew up on a council estate, and when we had someone move into our street who was deemed a single mother at the time, this was the late 80s, early 90s, the whole street sort of was like, not from a moralistic point of view, but the view was we all work, we're all paying our taxes, we don't earn much, and this person's got an house, benefits, blah blah blah. And I think there's obviously something the big parties haven't sussed out yet, is that I think in this time of austerity the ideas of Thatcherism are starting to become popular. That it's this us and them mentality. You might not have much, but if you go to work you should be taxed less, and you shouldn't be having to support people who've got no intentions of working. So
in conclusion, you're looking forward to the challenge of fighting the general election?
Absolutely. I'm already out there now.
And do you think in 5 years' time you'll still be in politics in some shape or form?
Depends if I've won a Euro Millions ticket. That I don't know. I say a week's a long time in politics. I really couldn't honestly say.
Brilliant. Well, Kerry Smith, thank you very much for your time.
That's all right.